Yeah. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good afternoon. I meant for this to be a good morning type deal. I've been on this since 5 o'clock this morning. Got the camera all working. Everything's cool with that, I think. And then all of a sudden, I got no sound. So here we are. So I finally got it going. And you know what? I'm a stubborn fucker, and I just said, screw it. I'm going on. I don't care. I was trying to get something out there this morning. I wanted to catch everybody on their way to work. Not to be facetious or anything. Regardless, here we are. Monday. How's everybody doing today? We having a good time out there in super fun, happy job land? Because we're going to talk about that a little bit. I know I talk about it from time to time. But I just, I want to see everybody living a good life out there and doing things that make them happy. And I don't know too many people that are that pleased about going to work on Monday morning. I used to hate it. I mean, when I worked, working for myself, no big deal. It is what it is. Still, though, Monday morning was always kind of like, I mean, especially doing what I was, I mean, there's something to be said for at least working for yourself. At least what you're doing it's on you. You're not punching a clock for anybody else. And when you're the boss, you can do whatever the hell you want anyways, I mean, you don't have to be there. So it's a little bit different. So anyway, I'm going to talk about management, because they doxed Elon Musk the other night, and I mean, he's just unhinged. That dude, I swear to God, I looked up images of Keith Olbermann. Every single one of them, the dude is crying. Like every single image, that dude is crying. I mean, I've never seen such an unhinged idiot in my life. He must live in his mom's basement, doesn't he? Something like that. I didn't even know he had dogs. I mean, I wonder what kind of dogs he has. Hot dogs? Ocelopses? Dachshunds? Ooh, that would work for him. Dachshunds. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. That's going to be the new meme. Use it if you can beat me to it. Keith Olbermann and his dachshunds. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't fucking think of that earlier. Jesus fucking Christ, I gotta write this shit down, because guess what I'm doing when this is done? That's what we're coming out with. I'm gonna put that on my notes here. That's good. Keith Olbermann's dachshunds, after he doxed Elon. Olber man with two N's. I grabbed a pencil. I was thinking it was a pen. I was like, this thing's writing weird. This is great. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Inspiration comes at the craziest of times and the weirdest of places, doesn't it? My goodness. So what's happening? Everybody have a good weekend. Go out, get stupid, get corned up, go be somebody. Have a good Sunday fun day. The reason I put the Groundhog's Day thing up, and I'll pop that up again one more time here for you guys. I thought this was kind of funny. I don't know, but it's not as good as Keith Olbermann's Dachshunds, D-O-X-X. Oh God, I can't believe I didn't think of that. I should have put that together. Had I not been messing with this stupid fucking audio all morning, we probably would have gone there. There it is. Look at that. You see the resemblance? Oh gosh, who's still gonna have a job come February? Who's better at their job? I'd be willing to bet that Puxatawny Phil has probably got that handled. I think Jenny Ellen's seen her shadow one too many times, to tell you the truth. I've seen her shadow. I've seen her one too many times. If I never have to listen to that woman again, I'll be good with that shit. Talking about fake money and all that shit, so we're going to get into a little bit of that, which we always do. I'm going to try and break it down a little bit more. I was listening to a cat that came up on my feed yesterday. And the dude's pretty damn good. It's Jeremy Griffin. He's a teacher, he's an entrepreneur, free thinker. He's a young man that he's got his shit together. This guy knows what's up. He's put in the work, and he's dialed in. Very, very sharp cat. So he was talking about something yesterday that I hadn't brought up ever before because I thought maybe it was a little bit too much for everybody to comprehend. But I'm going to just do it anyways. Since I watched it, and shout out to this dude. Jeremy, I'm not trying to steal any of your thunder or anything like that. But, you caught me yesterday at a time when I was looking up pretty much the same thing you were talking about, doing my homework, because I do a lot of homework, people. I do. I sit here and I study what I've put, everything I put out, I study, I'm not just sitting here all willy-nilly trying to put out, bullshit information, misinformation or disinformation, the new keywords of the fucking year, whatever that shit is. Anyway, sounds like Elon Musk is going to be sticking around, which is good. I don't know if anybody saw here, let me give one more shot. I don't know if anybody saw the poll that he put out last night, but it was like, he said, let me know if I should step down from Twitter. I'll go with the results. And 56 or some percent of you idiots out there said that he should step down. Now that really, I guess that shows you who is still on Twitter, I suppose. I guess that shows you who's been on Twitter. I've never been on Twitter, but since it's kind of, this thing's been going on and I'm doing this, and I kind of feel a responsibility that I got to be on there and check it out. And I've had fun with it. I love going at like Cenk Uygur. Every time Cenk puts something out, I love just firing back at him. Go fight Rogan. Shut up. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that idiot, he called out Joe Rogan. It would be the easiest $1,000 he'd ever won to fight Joe Rogan. Y'all ever seen Joe Rogan kick a heavy bag? Get on YouTube and Google it. Get on YouTube and just type it in. That dude, holy shit. You do not want to be on the other end of that. He would kick Cenk Uygur's fat head smooth off. And Cenk Uygur is only 5'9". He's like a little bowling ball. He acts like he's some kind of big man, but 5'9". Come on, dude. You're clown shoes, dude. Oh, that guy, him and his little cohort, they're something else. Scream and yell and get triggered and then have to stop their show because they can't go on because they get so mad about something. It's like, Jesus Christ, you guys are something else. Anyway, whatever. Come at me, bro. Not too worried about you. Cenk Uygur. Anyway, he's been sounding off on Elon. Everybody's been sounding off on Elon Musk, And the whole thing, you don't go and do what that, I can't remember the idiot kid's name, but, he was saying it was public information. No, it's not. There wasn't public information. And then you got, Keith Olbermann and his dachshunds over there putting out tweets. Okay, gang, everybody RT this right now. Oh, what are we doing, Keith Olbermann? Are we retweeting or are we Russian timesing it? Oh, well, not Russian Times, that's Trump. That guy, oh boy, he's clown shoes too. Between him and Cenk, good. You got the right clown shoe, left clown shoe. And they're both just, irrelevant whatsoever, Cenk at least got paid off, he got a bunch of Katzenberg's money, so good on him. Good for you, Cenk. Well done, sir. Anyways, so this is going to get into a little bit of stuff here. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but the United States is not a nation. It's a corporation. Okay? Now, this transpired after the Civil War. 1876, if I'm not mistaken. I might have to look that up. Later 1800s. 1912 was the year that things really culminated, and then 1913 with the little secret meeting that they had off the East Coast with all the European bankers. That was where things got really sideways. Okay? And then things got sideways in 1931, remembering it right. I don't have it all written down. I've been fighting with this stupid thing. Maybe I should save this for another time. However, okay, when you look up anything United States, it's a corporation. Okay, not many people understand or know that. Okay, it's incorporated. It's United States Inc. And it changed. And when it did change, everything changed. The banking rules changed. Okay, and then we were looking at the implementation of the federal income tax, which came into effect in 1913. All right, which is voluntary. So let's backtrack just a little bit, I guess. You are a corporation. Now this is difficult to explain, not really, but you got to wrap your head around it and you got to step outside the box a little bit, okay? I don't have any mail sitting up here right now, I don't think. Let me see if I do. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So, there we go. That's a piece of mail. All right? See how that's spelled? All capital letters, right? That's not me. That's not me. Okay? And as soon as you get a birth certificate, you become incorporated. You become a corporation. And if you look at the word, okay, and this is what this cat was talking about yesterday. He was talking about etymology, and I happen to have considered myself to be a wordsmith. I have the gift of gab. I'm a writer. I like the English language, and I saw that, it just came up on my feed, and I thought, I'm going to click on this and see what it is while I'm sitting here researching. And I'm just clicking through, taking notes and shit, and all of a sudden this guy starts going, and he's saying the same shit that I've been saying for a long time too. And I'm like, well, who is this guy? I'm looking up there. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, this is a young man. I'm like this dude's sharp. Like, shit, this dude's dialed in. I'm paying a little more attention. I'm sitting here scrolling. Next thing I know, I'm just listening to the dude, and I'm impressed. He's an impressive young man. I can tell you what, man, this kid knows what, he ain't a kid, he's a man, he's 30 years old, but I look at him as a kid because I'm pushing 50, but I wouldn't sit there, I certainly don't mean any offense, because listen here, Jay Griff, you are a young man for sure, and probably a bigger man than most men, and you know what's up, so I got nothing but love for you, man, nothing but love for you, dude. I've been impressed with everything I've read. And so he's going through etymologies, right? This is a very smart person. And he breaks down what a corporation is, right? And I never really thought of it. But corp, okay, where's the root? And I look at words like that all the time. I look at words and think, especially if I don't know the meaning of a word, that's usually my first step. I'll try and break it down, right? Like I'll look at it syllabically, like, okay, how many syllables do we got in the word, right? And then try and figure out, okay, what does each one of those mean? What's the root? Where did it come from? Corporation. Corpse and oration, which means to speak. So when you become a corporation, it means dead speak, right? That's straight up. You never think about incorporated or corporation as that, but that's what a corporation is defined as. It's a dead entity. So once you become that corporation, you're not even real. You're dead. You are you're a false entity, right? And you are here to pay off debt. That's what taxes are all about. That's what all this shit is about. So you are an indentured servant from the time you're born, from the time that you get pushed out. Now, Jeremy went on to talk about water words, okay? And he started talking about the, a whole bunch of legal stuff that I don't know if I'm going to get into it today with you all. But one of the things you should go back and look at is the 14th Amendment. That's That's an interesting one right there. Okay. I'm sitting here just going through some of my notes here. But that's one that you should look at, you know. But the U.S. is a corporation, and it's owned by England. And all of these terminologies, they all have to do with water, okay? Like Jared was calling them water words. And there's a ton of them, an absolute ton of them. And it's crazy when you actually stop and think about it. You go, holy cow, I never really looked at it that way. You know, I mean, I never did. It's absolutely, it's nuts. You know, I mean, and we're basically, I mean, we're like the Walking Dead. I mean, because that's all you're here to do. If you're working a job, if you're punching a clock, that's all you're here to do. And you think about it. Think about what you're doing. And if you like your job, that's great. If you like what you do and you're on top of things and everything's peachy and your life is good, then good. Great. That's awesome. I've always said that. If you're one of the few, because I don't know too many people that are very happy about Monday morning. I mean, having run my company for, a number of years, it was, Monday morning, not too many of the cats were pleased when they showed up. And I wasn't usually either. And trust me, I'd rather sit in bed. But, if I don't show up and get things going, then nothing gets going. And everything's got to stay solvent. Because if you leave your wage slaves out there on their own, unless you're lucky to have a couple that, I was lucky for a number of years to have a couple guys that I could do that with. I could trust them. I knew they were going to get things done, and I didn't have to worry about them, and that was great. That was a relief. But for the most part, your employees, you have got to stay on them. You've either got to have good managers, or you've got to be on it yourself. And the thing that happens with employees is that they get comfortable, and then they have an elevated sense of self-worth. They think, well, I'm just sitting here making money for this motherfucker. I could be doing this. This fool, they start stealing, start writing down fake hours, manipulating things, leaving a job, Construction's a little bit different than being in an office building because you don't really have a clock to punch. You just have a timesheet. And I always had a hell of a time with that because I'd give guys out timesheets. I'd be like, look, here's the deal. You get paid on the 5th and the 20th. I need your timesheets on the 1st and the 15th. Fill it out every day. And it'd be, payday's the 5th and it'd be like the 3rd. And I got nobody's timesheet. So I'm like calling the guys. I'm like, does anybody want to get paid? It took one time of me not having paychecks ready on payday. That changed. I was just like, sorry, the accountant's on vacation. You guys didn't turn your shit in. I've been on your asses for this for a long time. And guess what? So I let them hang for a couple of days just to prove a point, And she was on vacation, but it was one of those things, I probably could have figured it out if I'd have wanted to, but God damn it, I had enough going on. So, and I'd been on them forever for it anyway. So it's better to go out and just do your own thing, be your own, whatever you want to be. Everybody's like, well, what am I supposed to do? What do I, I got all this debt and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? There's another thing that we're going to go down with debt. Okay. We're going to go down that rabbit hole at another time. I'm wore out. I've been up since 5 a.m. I was all psyched and ready to do this thing. And then all of a sudden I've got no audio. So please bear with me because I'm just doing this more out of being stubborn right now than anything. But we're going to talk about debt. I'll probably revisit this maybe later today. But if you want to do some homework on this shit, which you should, I encourage everybody to do a little bit of homework. Now, I know you don't have time, and that's part of the problem with working that 9 to 5. You get 2 days off a week. If you work construction, maybe you work 4 10s. Or if you do some other type of job, I don't know. I think cops work, longer hours and get a 3-day weekend. But a 3-day weekend isn't even enough. Even a vacation. And I've talked about this before. And you all know what I'm talking about. You save up, you save up, you save up. You buy the plane tickets, you reserve the hotel. You're chipping away at it. You get your credit card extended, to get a bigger limit on it so you guys can go to, wherever it's going to. If you got kids, you're going to Disney, which I hope nobody goes there anymore. I mean, I had a good time there as a kid in Florida. But, I mean, with everything that's come out down there, geez. I mean, there was always it was fun, but there was always like something weird. It was just kind of a weird aura. I don't know. I've never been to the one in California. Just in Florida, we went down there I think twice. It was the same thing. I know my dad. He worked his ass off out there in that oil field. Hating that job. He hated it. Worked out there for 30-some fucking years. Doing that shit. I worked out there for 1 year when I was on summer break from college. Whew. Not someplace I wanted to be. I don't know how he did it. I guess because he cared about his family, I mean, I got nothing but respect for that man for doing that shit for all that time, because, I mean, spending one summer out there, I was like, Jesus Christ, how's the old man done this, Whew. And people live their life that way every single day. And that's why I put the Groundhog Day thing up, because every day for a lot of you out there is Groundhog's Day. Like I said, some of you love what you do. If you do, hey, awesome. I couldn't be more happy for you. But if you don't love it, I mean, you're wasting your time, and that's all. That's the commodity that you have, is time, and it's not free. It's not free. It's fleeting, and it's leaving you. Think about what age you are right now, and I don't care what age you happen to be. It doesn't matter. I can look back on my life and look back from sitting there at 12 years old thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm never going to get out of this fucking school. I'm never going to get out of here, and then boom, all of a sudden I'm on my way, and then it was like, and then next thing you know, you're sitting there and, you're looking back on it going, wow, I'm looking at it going, shit, I'm pushing 50 fucking years old. I'll be 47 in March. It's like, who would have ever fucking thought that? And that puts a smile on my face. It makes me laugh because you know what? I'm cool with that. I never in my wildest imagination thought that I'd be able to sit here and say I'm almost 47 years old. I mean, I could go out tomorrow and I'd be just A-okay with everything, I wouldn't have a regret in the world. I wouldn't have nothing. I've lived one hell of a life. It's been one hell of an existence, and it's been ups, and it's been the worst downs, and it's been great ups and downs, and boom, up, down, I mean, and that's life. That's it. That's life. That's how it goes. You're going to have ups. You're going to have downs. And if you don't, then you're living a mediocre life. I damn sure know that I'm not going out of here with anything mediocre. It could be one side or the other of mediocre, but it damn sure isn't going to be like down the line. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to have a regret about it. Like when I was locked up, I had to go to this, it was a non-resident drug program. And there was a day that the counselor, she went around the room, everybody had to talk about, what they regretted. And she came to me and I said, nothing. And she goes, she got indignant with me, like, what do you mean nothing? You're sitting here, aren't you? I said, yeah, here I am. I said, and quite frankly, this is saving my life. I said, I've got not a single regret about any of it, I said, would I have made different choices if I could look back and Monday morning quarterback it? Maybe not. I said, chances are I wouldn't change a thing. I said, because and I looked at her, I said, I've lived a life that you have no idea about. And he's like, you got no clue, And she's just kind of looking at me like, what, and I wasn't trying to be a smart ass or anything. I don't have regrets. Have I made bad decisions? Of course, everybody does. We all do that. It's part of life. You fail, you flop, you figure it out. Me, I happen to have a big flail, a big flop. And it put me in some, quite frankly, though, it put me in a place that literally was probably one of the worst times of my life, but I met some of the best people and made some of the best friends that I've ever made in my life. And I got the opportunity, and I'm going to say it was an opportunity to, even though it was difficult, and don't think that getting locked up in the shoe and solitary and shit is any kind of a fucking picnic. It's not, but it is an opportunity. And everything in life, even the bad shit, is an opportunity because it gives you a chance to reflect on what put you there. And it gives you a chance to, for me, it gave me an opportunity to figure out who I was. And it sucked. I read, I don't know how many pages a day. I was up to 400 or 500 pages a day. You get wrecked 3 times a week, you get a shower 3 times a week. Other than that, you're in that fucking stinky ass cell, sitting there doing burpees and shit. And, got a t-shirt tied on your head, and you've got, dark magazine. That's what I do. Go into the magazines, pull out the dark pages, and put toothpaste on them, and jump up and stick them on the fluorescent light, because they don't turn the damn thing off. So, but you sit there and you get a chance to wrestle with your shadow, and you get a chance to understand that you're okay. Like before that, I always had to be in the middle of everything, right? Like I always had to be whatever. If something was if I was not where something was happening, I felt like I was missing out all the time. It was like, I was always just like, I got to be in the middle of shit. You know what I mean? Now, I sit here and I do this, and I'm perfectly content with it. And people don't understand it. People don't understand why I don't need anybody, why I don't, and I don't. I honestly do not need, I mean, yeah, there's people in my life that I love and care about, but I don't necessarily need anybody. I don't need anything whatsoever. The reason I do this is just because this gives me an avenue to vent, to get it out. And honestly, I want to help people as well. I want people to understand what's really going on in life, because it is fleeting and it's here and it's gone. And I spent too many years as a wage slave stressing about this and that and the other thing, and it's just a vicious cycle that you can't get out of. You can't quit your job because you're roped into this, that, you got a car or a truck that is too expensive, and you got a monthly on that. And then you got to pay full coverage insurance on the thing. But you got to keep up appearances, right? You got to keep up those appearances. So you can't go trade that thing off and go buy something shitty and old. I mean, I got an old 85 Ford F-150 out there that I bought from Brooke. I mean, he drove that thing around forever. I mean, I took him out with the heads to have him redone. And he's a hell of a mechanic, so I know that truck is, I mean, for the most part, I've had to replace a few things on it, but, for under $1,000, I can go out there right now. It's let's see what it is outside. I should take a video of this shit, because I guarantee I go out there and turn the key on that old ass truck, and that thing's going to start. If I don't have that diesel plugged in this kind of weather, that thing is not starting for 2 hours after you plug it in. It's 11 degrees right now. We're looking at a low of -2. Tomorrow we're going to be at a low of 4, a high of 25. And then Wednesday we're looking at 23 below, 80% chance of snow. And Thursday, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday, -29 degrees. Friday, -21. So that's what we got to look forward to here. So I love living here, but -29 is some cold ass shit. Do you understand how cold 29 below is? And the wind is going to be blowing, I guarantee it. And it's going to snow the day before at -20, what did I say, 23? -23? Oh boy, oh God. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. But then by next week, we're going to be up in the mid-40s again. I'm just wondering when I'm going to be able to get out on my dirt bike. Anyhow, we're going to talk more about this stuff. I'm going to have to get my poop in a group on it, and I have a little better, I had everything kind of organized this morning, but quite frankly, you know how that goes. You get flustered and things go sideways, and next thing you know, you're out of your, out of the zone. But I want to talk a little bit about I want to talk about these, what Jeremy was calling was the water words, and I want to talk about Admiralty Maritime Law. And if you guys are interested, look that up. Do a little homework on it. Check out the 14th Amendment. That's a good one to look at. These are all things that I've thought about talking about, and I never have, because I just kind of thought that, oh God, everybody's gonna think I'm even nuttier than I am. They already think I am, But it might as well, right? There's no time like the present. That's kind of what I realized yesterday. It's like, if not now, then when? There's never going to be a right time for anything. You know what I mean? There's never going to be a right time to rip the Band-Aid off. You just do. There's never going to be a right time to get a tattoo, but you just go get it, Trust me. Or you put it on yourself. There's never going to be a right time to do something in life that you never thought you would do. I mean, I'm not sitting here tooting my horn or anything like that. I never thought that this would be something I'd be doing, sitting here talking into a camera on putting something out to the whole world. Hell no. Not even even after I had the studio built, I'd walk by and look in and see all this shit, and I'd just go, scared to death. Scared to death of it. But then started it, and you know what? It's something that I really enjoy doing. And apparently nobody else enjoys it too much, because I can't seem to get much for subscriptions or likes, and I'm fairly certain that I was shadow banned, after I ate those first 2 suspensions within whatever it was, the first month and a half, whatever, After that point, it was like, boom, all of a sudden my stuff's not out there anywhere for anybody to find. And everything was kind of left to wreck too. But, I'm not a tech guy, and I had to kind of pick up the pieces myself, and I'm still working on it. So I'm happy for anybody out there that's, stuck with me and tuned in. I got some merch out there. There's a address on it. I'm still going to take care of all of you that were the first 50 subscribers. I got the list. And you will be getting your t-shirts. I'm not gonna go sideways on that with you, because I promised you guys that. So trust me, you'll get them. You can shoot me an email. Hit me up with a message on here. I'm really bad at looking on Bookface at comments. I don't like looking at them, because my thought on it is I'm saying what I got to say, and I'm not going to try and get into any petty arguments with people. And I don't want to sit there and fight with any keyboard warriors, because I don't play the whole phone tough thing. I don't want to do it. If we want to be tough, then we can be tough, and I can give you my address. But, there's no reason for that. We can agree to disagree. And if you disagree, that's cool. I don't care. You don't have, I'm not right. I'm trying just like everybody else. I'm just trying to figure it out. And, keep on bumping it on down the road. But do some homework on that. Check it out. Just Google it, okay? Just Google, is United States a corporation? See what you come up with. And ask if you are. And then think about your birth certificate. Think about the fact that, all your mail shows up, especially your debts, capital letters. Look into debt collection too. That's an interesting topic, and it's something that I'm going to get back after. I'm going to put it together and maybe come back tonight and get everything kind of lined out, because this is kind of I could start going down through this thing, but it's going to take a minute, and I don't want to I want to have it lined out right. Just like that's what I try to do. I'm trying not to put out bullshit. But this isn't bullshit. America is a corporation. So if you think about that and the implications of it, and then you're a corporation too. Look it up. I'm not sitting here feeding you full of bullshit. All right. So we're going to come back. I'm going to talk about some other things later today. But I got to get out there and do some shit. I was planning on coming out at 5 a.m. and putting one out there this morning, but my technology had other plans, as it always seems to. But hey, that's one of those things. That's how you learn, right? That's how you learn. You flail, you flounder, you flop around, you get up, dust yourself off, you sit there and you get mad to the point where you're about ready to give it up, and then boom. That's how I get with this stuff, with these computers and this goddamn soundboard and lights and all this shit. I get to the point where I'm ready to just fucking lose my mind. I'm ready to just like throw everything down and just, go out in the wood shop. That's what I know. I'll go out there and build something. But I'm trying to build something here too. So it never fails. It's like what everybody always says when you lose your wallet. Well, it's always the last place you look. Well, yeah, no shit, dipshit. But it's always that last keystroke. I was ready to call it good today, and I'm just like, one last thing I gotta check. And I'm going through everything on this fucking computer. I've wiped this thing, brought it back from, oh God. And then every time there's an update, everything gets all thrown out. And I am not good at this stuff. You all know me. I'm a hands-on type of dude. I'm not this technologically advanced creature. I'm hammer and nails, saws, and this and that. But anyway, you got to put yourself outside of the comfort zone, I suppose. If you're not, then what the hell are you doing? Learn something new every day, right? That's kind of what I try and do. Learn something new. I learned something new today. And now I won't make the same mistake again. But there's going to be one down the road, and that's fine. That's fine. I embrace it. I look forward to it because those mistakes and those things that come at you, and you got to figure out, they make you better. They make you stronger. They make you more intelligent. They give you the mechanisms to cope with these type of things. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with screwing up. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. And there's nothing wrong with being wrong. And there's nothing wrong with calling somebody out when they are. And there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with people. We've lost that. Somewhere along the lines, we've lost that. Our ability to respectfully disagree with one another and still be able to sit down and have a meal instead of getting so mad, so angry. Think about everybody's different walk that they've had in life, right? We've all walked crazy paths. And my only stories I can tell is about my path. But you know what? Everybody's got their own. Everybody's got battles that they're fighting that nobody understands. So if we try to be a little more kind to one another, understand that there are things behind the curtain that are going on with people that we don't get. And there's things going on behind our curtain that other people don't get. And we're not here for long. So I don't understand about all the killing, the fighting, the wars. We live in a world of abundance. There shouldn't be homeless people. There shouldn't be destitute people with no clothes. We shouldn't have that going on anywhere globally. I don't care what country you're from. It's absolutely unacceptable. And there's a reason behind it. And it's really, really pathetic. So ask yourself some questions, and then when I come back later today, I'm gonna sort this all out, and then I can run it down and break it all down to you. It's something I've wanted to talk about for a while. I kind of got inspired by seeing this cat yesterday. So, anyway, thank you, Jay Griff. Appreciate you, brother. Man, that was some good stuff that I've seen from you, man. So it's not very often that you see somebody put out content like that. So it's pretty impressive, especially from a younger man. Anyway, with that, I'm going to leave you with Janet and the Puxatawny Phil, And you tell me, maybe I'll take a poll when I put this out on Anchor, who's going to have a job come February. With that, I'm gonna bounce out. So, as we always say, be good or be good at it. In all things, be kind and do no harm. From the Mike Files, I'm your host, Michael File, 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming. Peace out.